Welcome to Suncoast Spotlight, a television program all about people who create film, video, television, commercials, documentaries, music videos, web series, and other entertainment content. I'm Jeannie Corcoran, your Sarasota County Film Commissioner, and this program is created in partnership with the Suncoast Technical College and its Digital Filmmaking Department, as well as the Education Channel. Today we're going to have two guests. Our first is the CEO of Garnet Media, Irene Gottleib, who is also a writer, an extensive sales and marketing pro from the financial industry and the world of independent filmmaking and television production. Irene's just an all-purpose, all-around expert. And she's an award-winning photographer. She's an accomplished artist. She's a philanthropic powerhouse. She works with the people of Uganda and Kasubi in Africa, as well as being a certified women's business advocate. We're going to have a second guest with us later this afternoon, and that is Russ Carthy. But for now, we're going to welcome Irene Gottleib. Irene, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's always fun to talk to you. And Irene is one of my advisors on my Film Advisory Council, and she's also a producer of active projects that are in the works that we're hoping will shoot at least a portion in Sarasota County. And you do so many things, I'm not sure where to start. But you and I met about projects, gosh, going back some years now. And what was one of the first things that you considered doing in Sarasota County? Was it the heirs and the children of great television and film and music stars?
Yeah, we were working on a television series with Discovery Communications called Real Bloodlines at the time, which was highlighting second generation performance-based icons.
Right, and some of them were amazing.
Son of Lou Rawls and David Ruffin, Jackie Wilson's son Bobby, Richard Pryor's son. And we were bringing them to Sarasota to work with the Black Coast Theater Troupe as mentors and to tell their stories.
Yeah, they were a great, amazing bunch of people, and I think so often, and your premise was so strong about people don't understand that the children of stars and the children of celebrities sometimes have a really difficult life adjusting to being in the shadow of a famous parent like that. Some excel and some don't. Some fall by the wayside, and you know, it's unfortunate where they end up, but it's an interesting story, and it's still there. I mean, you have some of these performers are now performing live on stage, and are you still involved with all of that as well?
Yes, actually, most of the gentlemen that we are working with, they're all performers, they're professionals. A few of them are Grammy nominees. But back to really what the heart is, and the point that you made about a commonality and kinship that they share is how they grow up with a brand and preconceived notions. And it's very difficult sometimes for them to learn how to trust and to take their own path without always having to double back and look at the obligation of their legacy.
Right.
Which also is something that was so important to honor.
And I always think, you know, movie stars in particular, and music stars who are listened to day in and day out on all forms of media and radio and so forth, they're so much bigger than life to the fans. And then along comes one of their children who's just a regular person, and their talents haven't begun to develop yet because they're young. So I don't know if it would be an easy life for anybody. And I think you're doing a good thing with it. But you do a lot of things with a good heart. You're working on projects for independent film, but you also do things that are philanthropic. I was reading about your involvement with an organization called For Africa. And tell me a little bit about that.
For-Africa derived through my interest in wanting to give back and do something for young people to help inspire and empower them. It just, through happenstance, and since you mentioned my grueling 30-year corporate finance background, I was traveling on a weekly basis. I had a tremendous amount of vacation time left over. I didn't know what to do with it. Through a friend, I heard about, believe it or not, it was Aspen for Africa. And
Aspen, Colorado?
Yes, and I lived in Colorado at the time, and I had heard through this woman that they were traveling through different countries within the continent of Africa, helping build libraries, and the same story that you'll hear. And it got my interest, and I basically just bought a plane ticket ended up not going with anybody but myself. I didn't know what I was going to do when I got there. I flew to Uganda. I spent the next 2 weeks in a small village in Kasubi. They have a gorgeous vocational college, very similar to this. The young people pay in, and they house most of them. They have 5 different disciplines, and it just really got my attention because not only warm-hearted and very talented, but really looking to be able to move the educational limit that seemed to be somewhat stagnant, to open up more of a breadth of understanding, and more of a global-minded.
It's a great thing. I mean, it's a great outreach. We're going to have to take a really short break. I'm engrossed in what you're saying, which means that we're going to tease the audience and tell them, stay with us. We'll be right back and learn more.
Florida is on the verge of a new housing boom, and the one thing all new buildings will have in common is heating and air conditioning. The HVAC program at Suncoast Technical College will train you in all phases of ventilation and air conditioning, installation, and maintenance. For more information, log on to suncoast.edu or call 941-924-1365. Suncoast Technical College, career in a year.
If you'd like to start a career in automotive body repair, our Automotive Collision and Repair program covers a large array of the basic, necessary skills you need. You will work hands-on as you learn sheet metal repair skills, frame and unibody squaring and aligning, the use of fillers, paint systems, and undercoats, related welding skills, glass services, and other miscellaneous repairs. Automotive Collision and Repair focuses on broad, transferable skills that will prepare you for employment in the industry.
Welcome back to Suncoast Spotlight. My guest right now is Irene Gottleib, a personal friend, an advisor, a producer, a writer, an author, an artist, so many wonderful talents, all combined in one great person. Irene, I really appreciate you being here. And you were talking to us a little bit about the number 4-Africa is the cause, and how you got involved with the educational component of it over there and making opportunities for young people.
Yes, I had traveled to Uganda. I ended up spending some time absorbed with a vocational school, children that lived, young people, 18 to 21, that lived on ground. There's also a nursery school attached to this community. And I found that there was so much good that could come about. And I also saw the things that they were possibly missing, and some things that they didn't know, and other things that they were asking for, mostly books for a library. They gave me a tiki tour of their facilities, and opened a closet door and said, "Here's our library." And literally there was one book, the Bible, and 2 magazines sitting on the shelf.
Wow.
Look and Life. So I came home and decided I would start a mentorship program. Clearly learned that I think a typical person would go thinking that we're trying to teach them how to leave their country, expanding their education outside of where they come from. But I realize most important is to give them the tools that they need to be able to be the best that they can be, so they can self-sustain.
And help others within their community, their families, their friends, their circle of acquaintances grow and strengthen the communities they live in. So take care of home.
I started going to some of the library conferences and collecting books and book bags and all kinds of supplies, and single-handedly started making arrangements to have several types of materials and supplies forwarded and sent to them. And did go back and see the first graduating class, went to the graduation, and that was really quite something.
Wow, that's fun. That's great. You're working now with the very first ever women's sports museum. That's another great cause, and that's regional to our area, correct?
It is. Yeah. It is. I was recently nominated to the board of directors The Women's Sports Museum today is the first and only, literally in the world. It's grown out of the Sarasota community. We realized that through tourism and many other reasons to attract people, I call this my high left brain, high right brain town because of the arts and also high-level sport here. A lot of alternative sport.
It's true. We have so many sports, and
And
people
a lot
are
of
always
retired
surprised.
people. So sports shaped my life growing up. I'm married to a professional athlete. We have a son, actually a few sons that have played in various sports. And
Can we mention what Jeff was? Jeff was one of the world famous star athletes of the New Zealand All Blacks, right?
He is.
I guess it's like when you're a Marine, you're one for life.
Yes.
He's an All Black for
Yes,
life.
he's an All Black.
Yeah, it's a great thing. So
Yeah.
it's really a part of your family.
So I found the interest. I have to be very careful what I volunteer to do, and there was just no downside because my focus is on women in film and women in sport, and so it was a nice combination sitting on your advisory board and also taking a role with the museum that I'm looking forward to watching it grow.
Oh, me too. I
Yeah.
think it'll be a great thing, and it's happening here. It's
It
amazing
is.
what things happen in Sarasota County and our immediate environs. And you're also, speaking of sports, you're working with a league of their own, the tour for is it the 25th anniversary?
25th
Of the
anniversary of the movie being released, directed by Penny Marshall. The women that acted in the movie 25 years ago, and then also the women that they were portraying as professional baseball athletes during World War II, had come together, and they've been on a tour this summer, raising money and leaving it behind in the various communities that they've been visiting, going to all the major ball leagues.
Right. I've seen some
Or
of the pictures of it,
ballparks.
and Gina Davis, who was one of the stars in the movie, had it in her hometown, didn't it? The Bentonville Film Festival there, and they did some things on the athletic field, and now you're trying to bring that here to Sarasota. So we're cheering you on and hoping we can help and see if that happens this coming spring. I know you're working hard on it. So anybody out there who is a lover of the movie A League of Their Own and a lover of women in baseball and women in sports and baseball in general, probably need to get a hold of Irene. We're going to have to take a quick break again. Gosh, these segments go fast. But if you stay with us, we'll tell you more about how to get involved or learn what's coming and what's ahead. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
A new housing boom is predicted in our area. That means new jobs for qualified plumbers. Our plumbing program can prepare you to take advantage of those opportunities. You'll learn commercial, residential plumbing, installation, maintenance, and servicing. Become familiar with the latest solar technologies, and in as little as a year, you can be working as a plumber's assistant, preparing yourself to become a certified, licensed plumber.
Welcome back to Suncoast Spotlight. And with my guest today, Irene Gottleib, we were just talking about the movie A League of Their Own and the tour that is going around celebrating the 25th anniversary of that film, and women in sports and things of that nature, and pick up where we left off so I don't deprive anyone of knowing all the details.
Oh, no worries. Actually, State College of Florida and the director of their film studies had shown some interest in doing a film series that would be collaborative with many of the local colleges. And so I've been helping them shape up a film series. They decided that the theme would be sport, women in sport. So we have a series that starts January 23rd. There'll be a film about a 11-year-old power lifter. It's called Supergirl.
Wow.
Yeah, very interesting film. She's an Orthodox Jew and talks a little bit about her journey. Not so much just, playing a sport that not necessarily is for 11-year-old girls.
No.
But also, how she had to work around family dynamics. I'll
I
leave
can
it
imagine,
there.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of family tradition and roles of women and
Right.
in all
So,
faiths, we all.
February, there's a film, I believe, on the 7th that's scheduled. It's called The Founders, about the original 13 LPGA ladies PGA golfers from back in the day. In March, I believe the date is the 20th, will be Blood Road with Rebecca Rush, a 7-time world champion mountain biker and extreme sport. And then the finale is April 18th. That's during the Sarasota Film Festival that also is being sponsored by Through Women's Eyes. And that will be the highlight, using A League of Their Own as the film.
And we're hoping that will screen actually at the Orioles ballpark. Is that still being worked on and as a good potential possibility?
We have that possibility, yes.
Yeah, good.
And we will also be doing a panel discussion lecture style series at the State College of Florida that's open to the public and really student-centric, where we will have filmmakers, we will have actors who are current day producers and directors and writers, and we will have educators in film and media, and they will be moderated by one of the top directors of photography from Hollywood, an old MGM guy.
All exciting
So,
stuff.
yes,
all
it
exciting
is.
stuff. That's great. And is there a website? Is there a website for the tour of A League of Their Own that has been going around, or should they just contact our office if they want to know more about how to go to the Orioles Park and see the film and participate? And
There's no website,
but they can call us, right?
but they can call you.
Okay. That's right. That's what the film office is for. We're here
That's
to help.
right.
We're here to help to be a part
It's
of
a
that.
collaborative, and of course, you know, the film office is going to help with a VIP lounge. We do have other sponsors, so if there is any interest in wanting to get involved,
Just give us a call. Yes.
we're adopting people, so we have an adoption option.
An adoption option. I like that. yeah.
So for every actor from the film, get on the bus, different corporations are able to kind of handpick. So if it's Lori Petty or Tracy Reiner, and they actually be responsible for bringing that person in, and then they would have an opportunity to do something using them as a corporate spokesperson
Oh,
or
very nice.
having pictures opportunity.
Great. Sounds like
Private
it'll
luncheons.
be fun for the community at large and,
I
and
think
good for
so.
things. And in in that same vein of sports, we've been talking with you and with a production company that you're active with right now to bring in a film called Bullfighter on the Green, and it's the life story of Chichi Rodriguez, an amazing golf player who changed the face of the sport forever. He broke racial barriers, he broke ethnic barriers, he broke height barriers. I mean, he was just, he's still alive. And it will be moderated, kind of semi-hosted by Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle. So that we're hoping to see next year too.
We should be seeing that here too.
Yay! Well, we've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it really stays in theme with a lot of the educational aspects of what we're trying to accomplish. Going back to the film series, you know, there's a lot of social issues that we'll be addressing. If it's literacy or body image, there's so many different things that many of these women actually represent. If you you know, look back at the film, with Chi-Chi again representing other considerations.
Milestones and
Well, all I
paradigm
can say
shifts
is after serving in the U.S. Army, coming back and being at the top of his sport and being told he wasn't allowed to play in the Ryder's Cup because he wasn't American, kind of hit a nerve with a lot with the few producers that I'm working with, including myself.
And it's a piece of history. I like to see these movies give us a chance to take a look at history. And I thank you for making so much of this possible and bringing it to Sarasota County. And we're out of time. Oh, but it's been great having you. Irene, I would love to
you.
get you back and get some updates as some of these other things come closer and closer to the date of happening.
TechTots Preschool is located on the campus of Suncoast Technical College and is open to the public for preschool and voluntary pre-K classes. TechTots has been serving the Sarasota community since 1977, offering a safe and nurturing environment for children 3 years of age and up. The students in Suncoast Technical College's Early Childhood Education program work side by side with the professional licensed child care providers, learning the skills of quality child care services and offering a low child-to-adult ratio. TechTot's child care services are offered at no charge to students of Suncoast Technical College and are available to the public at a reasonable rate on a first-come, first-served basis. For more information, call TechTots at 941-924-1365, extension 62383. TechTots, a great start for your tot.
With us now is our second guest of the show, Russ Carthy. He is the owner of Express Thyself Films. Russ is heading up a project with the digital video students at Suncoast Technical College, which offers actors a free videotaped demo piece, which will be uploaded to the database of talent that we're going to have on our new filmsarasota.com website. And here to tell us all about it is Russ Carthy in person. Welcome, Russ.
Hi, Jeannie. How are you?
Good to have you here. I haven't seen you in a while.
It has been a while.
And for those people who don't know, you and I go back a number of years. You've been a filmmaker. You've done a couple of projects that you've met with our office about, and
yes.
Some of them have been your passion projects that you labored over for several years. It's
Sometimes
like giving
too long.
Too long, right? Then well, the first one was Matchup.
No Match.
No Match.
Yeah,
That's right.
that
Tell me a
was-
little bit about where that went.
That was taking place in Plymouth, Mass. And I had this idea about a man's quest. I saw a guy looking for a match for a cigarette, and he seemed pretty desperate. And I thought, that'd be an interesting little short film. So I kind of put that together, and some of the people that were in my theater company, I grabbed them as actors, and it's just about a man's quest for a match for a cigarette, and it did make it to the finals in the Plymouth Film Fest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice. That's
it was a nice,
a slice of
interesting-
life. Yeah.
Absolutely, and we did 48-hour film fests, projects there. That was kind of a challenge to see if you could put it all together in 48
Yes.
hours, and you're familiar with that,
I am.
I'm sure.
It's really a monumental effort, and you only get 48 hours start to finish. And
Yeah.
if you're 5 minutes late turning in your edited final entry, you're done. You're
And
out.
I saw
so.
people at that locked door, and it's a pretty sad sight.
Yeah, breaks your
you
heart.
know. Yeah, because they do work hard, and you have to live with your choices, and you have to be able to not second guess yourself too much, which is the challenge. You know.
And you did another project I always thought was just such a clever premise, Refrigerator Diary.
Yes.
And for those people who haven't seen it, you can see it on YouTube now.
Yes, you can.
Refrigerator Diary. Tell me a little bit about how that came to be.
Well, I had the idea, everything takes place in the kitchen, parties, gatherings, and it's always such a warm place in a house. And I thought, well, it'd be interesting to take an old fridge and cut a hole in it and put a camera in there and, record a family's life from the time they're newlyweds until they pass on, and then another tenant comes in and the cycle begins over and over. And in the film, there's an object that's left to continue that cycle that I won't tell you
Yes,
about, but you'll see it.
You have to watch it to reveal the object that
Yes,
continues
I
the
was-
cycle of life.
Right, and I was very proud of the fact that 80% of the main characters never acted in their life on stage or film. And so the challenge was to see if I could bring the emotions and the joy and everything else to it. And, I have to thank my wife for allowing me to tear the door off the kitchen and having a fridge in there for months on end, to get this done. And but I'm very proud of that piece.
Right. I liked it very much that every vignette, every stage of life of the people that you're showing it's shown, the little vignette is shown when the refrigerator door opens, and you're watching what's happening beyond the refrigerator.
Yes.
And then it closes, and when it opens again, it's a whole new time period.
New premise,
It
new
was-
idea, broken arms, kids in college, babies having their birthday parties, and I was trying to figure out the best way to keep the door open because I timed it, and it was like 12 seconds, I sat there and let the door close and said, how can I squeeze things into 12 seconds? I
You'd
can't
be
do
amazed,
that.
right?
So I did, but then I thought, well, she could be putting away leftovers. She could be putting the stuff from the store in the fridge as the conversation's taking
Sure.
place, and it did work out.
Yeah. So everyone should watch that on YouTube if they get a
They
chance.
should,
right?
they should.
And speaking of the actors and the actors that you use and the actors that you've befriended, is that how you got involved with the Suncoast Technical College project to help actors form demo pieces? Just they're 45 seconds long, fairly short,
Yes.
but gives people a chance to express themselves, costs nothing, is that correct?
Yes.
And you come to the college and get shot professionally, and then we're going to put it up in our talent section for our website.
Yes, and I always like that idea. I like the idea of that because I think that actors struggle, and we all know how that is, and that's part of the game, I guess. And there's always something, cost involved, and I thought it would be nice to get involved, with Mr. Gray, Bob Gray, who invited me in to mentor, and the film situations are fairly new to me, but I've taught acting and I've directed stage for 30 years, so the idea of where things come from as an actor, I feel fairly well qualified as.
Do people contact you, or do they contact Bob Gray at Suncoast Technical College, or is there a website that they can go to?
I set up an email, and it's Russ Carthy. It's expressthyself@aol.com.
Expressthyself@aol.com.
And if they contact that, they'll contact me, and I will call them back and set up an appointment to come in. And we usually shoot every other Thursday. We're going to try to get some more time in because it's expanding.
Sure.
They've since we did a promo on your website, I've had calls already.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it's exciting, and it's going to take off. And I think it's an opportunity for artists who have some experience and know that filmmakers from all over the country will be coming into town shooting films, and if they go into this pool,
And find resources.
yes,
It's a great thing.
And so when you go in, you're really getting a second interview. So that kind of shaves the nerves off, and they'll see someone they want. They'll see a person, a certain ethnicity, a certain age,
And act on that.
Yeah, and and I tell the actors that the artists that come in that I want you to do something that best represent yourself. This is all about you, and it is. It's all about what you want to do, as an artist to best represent your talents for filmmakers to see.
Well, we appreciate you doing it, and we've run out of time for this segment, but before we go, I do want to acknowledge, thank you for your service, and welcome home to a veteran of the Vietnam War and a door gunner.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
You're
Judy.
welcome.
Pleasure to
Thank
be
you
here.
all for watching us, and tune in again to Suncoast Spotlight.